Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dami. I'm a student living and studying in the Philippines. In this video, I have a guest with me. She's a med student here in the Philippines and she'll be sharing her experience throughout med school, and also she's going to be enlightening us about the pros and cons of studying medicine in the Philippines. Can you introduce yourself to my vlog?
Hi everyone, I'm Mariam Mohammed. I'm actually from the Maldives. So I had my pre-med, med school, and internship here, and I'm so glad to be here on your channel. So my medical school was Emilia Aguinaldo, Manila. I had my pre-med in bachelor's in biology also from there, and then I moved on to my med school there. After that, I moved to Dagupan for which is in Region 1 for my internship. This is basically the tail end of this right now.
If I may ask you, how long have you been in the Philippines?
So it's almost 5, going on to my 6th year right now.
Before you came to the Philippines, how did you know about studying in the Philippines?
So I had family here who was already studying in Philippines, and then they recommended me the med schools, and it felt like a good option at the time, and I really do think it still is a good option for me. So basically it was, let's just say it was family going into Philippines, and then I just followed in footsteps. That's how it was for me.
In your country, are there no med school there?
When I started at the time, there were no local med schools, so the only option to study medicine was to go abroad. Although we do have a local med school, we started just 1 year after I did. During my initial days, we didn't have one, so that was basically the main reason why I had to come abroad. And as I said before, I just followed family here.
The doctors you guys have in Maldives, how did they get their own education?
Abroad, all doctors, all Maldivian doctors are trained abroad until that point. Until about 4 years ago, we had no med school, so all medical doctors are trained abroad in various countries. Actually, we have doctors who studied in India, in Pakistan, let's say the Asian countries. We also have students, medical doctors who studied in UK, in US, all over the world. Basically, Maldives used to have, still do have scholarship programs and low interest loan programs for students who want to go into medicine, especially because studying abroad is quite an expenditure. So now it's mostly focused to provide scholarships locally, but before, especially during my time, I think we were the last batch. They still do provide loans to study medicine abroad. Um, and during my time, there were a lot more scholarships as well. So yeah, all of our doctors are foreign trained. Still up to this point, since we don't have residency programs, because Maldives, where I come from, is a really small country, so we don't have enough of a population to sustain a residency program. So all of our residents are trained abroad as well.
Is it the government that finance your education here in the Philippines?
For me, it was my parents. I'm very lucky that my parents financed my med school. But the government does sponsor quite a lot of students going on abroad, whether it's forms of loans, whether it's forms of scholarships. If it's scholarships, I'm not sure if they do have a bond or not, but for the loans, they just need to pay back the loans.
You moved to the Philippines almost 6 years. What was your experience at the beginning?
Wow, that I was actually really young when I moved here. Well, the climate was really easy for me to acclimatize to because Maldives is tropical as Philippines. So I think the hardest adjustment was the food, but especially because our cuisine is very spicy, very um, how do we say it? It's very lots of spices, lots of flavors, and it was a huge difference from the palate we have here. So it did take some. I think that was the biggest hurdle for us to get acclimatized to the food. My med school was in Manila. We were surrounded by a lot of foreigners as well from different countries. So it was a very cosmopolitan area. It was a very how do I say it? It was a melting pot of lot of cultures. So it was pretty easy for me to make friends, to get around, and it really helped that Manila was very. The majority of them spoke English. They understood English. They were very helpful. So fitting in was really easy. Well, except for the homesickness, but it was it was actually, I think, pretty easy.
So let's talk about language barrier. In your
Mm.
school where you studied, did you deal with such situation?
It wasn't very pronounced in med school because, as I said, we had a lot of foreign students, and the Philippine population in our med school was comparatively less, but they were very fluent in English. Um, the professors in med school were our lecturers, our lecture notes were almost always in English, so the language barrier didn't arise that much the first years actually of med school. I think the first actual gap we felt was when we were doing our clerkship because despite Manila being very, very forwardly English spoken, you really do have a population who is more comfortable with the local language. And even though if they do speak English, it is their second language. So that was the first time we felt the language barrier, and we actively tried to immerse ourselves more into the language, especially the medical terms, especially in terms enough that would help us understand what the patients are saying to get a thorough history. So I feel like the first 4 years were a good stepping stone, but it actually provided us with a full sense of security. So I feel like, especially if you're in medicine, in any medical field, if you're studying, it's very important to know the local language because little things do matter, especially because it's you're trying to interview a patient, you're trying to get their history, you're trying to get their symptoms, you're trying to basically um, get information out of them when they're at their worst. So I feel like the local language, knowing the local languages help a lot. And yes, there definitely is a barrier when you work in the medical field. Not when you're studying, but when you go into your clinicals. Yes, there is one. No matter how forwardly English speaking the country is, you still need to know at least your basics.
So are you saying you can speak Tagalog?
No, actually, I feel really bad to say this, but my Tagalog is still very beginner level. Well, it's enough to suffice me right now as a level of an intern, as a level of a clerk to have a rapport with my patients. It's still very helpful that they do understand at least some bit of English, and I think we have a lot of technology helping us now, especially the Google Translates, the GPTs, especially just on the basis of translating.
So if you meet a patient and you needed to interview them, how do you go about it? Can you share?
So um, I basically learned phrases that would help me to at least to have a basic introduction to them.
I'm your patient now.
It's very, I know
Okay.
how do I say it. It's very person to person basis.
Okay.
So I would try to start a rapport. So I would introduce myself. So I would be like, for an example, if I'm rotating in IM, Mustafa Kuya, I am intern po ako, review na lang history. So they would usually introduce themselves at that point. So if I already have the names, I would try to make sure that they're the patient that I actually am interviewing if I'm interviewing the right patient. So usually if I don't understand something, I would Google it on the Road Translate and help them to confirm with them if this is what they're saying. Usually the symptoms, the common ones, they're having fever. So you basically learn your keywords. Uh, so may lagnat ka ba, may ubo po, ilang araw yung sa hiubo. So you try to elicit as much as you can with the keywords. I know it's not really good to have close-ended questions, but when you don't understand the language that well, it helps to have close-ended questions. You let them have open-ended conversations first, and then try to narrow it down by close-ended. And also, you have your Philippine interns, you have your co-interns, you have your co-clerks to help you. It also helps to have a cheat sheet. So yeah, that helps.
You've done your clerkship and internship here in the Philippines, and you have experience in Manila and also here in the province, what are the differences you notice between the hospital?
I think mostly what I noticed is differences between private care and public care. So private care is so streamlined and it's so, you know that you have the resources for these patients, you have the resources for the care, and it's very very what is it has a lot of red tape. There's a lot of precautions because you're protecting your doctor, you're protecting your consultants, and they're very heavily involved in the care. So basically you follow their plan.
In private hospital?
Yes, because these are patients that belong to your consultant already. They have already been seen by your consultant, and that's when they come to you. They come to you through your consultant. As opposed to here, and when you're in public setting, you're the first ones to see your patient, and then you're the one to refer them to your consultant. So you have some sort of leeway, or you have some sort of time with your patient to assess them, to formulate a plan, and to refer that plan to your doctor. So you have a little bit more independence, which I feel is a really good exposure you need to develop your clinical eye. Which was the main reason why I transferred from Manila to here as well, because I wanted to have a lot of exposure to be able to see different cases. Um, there is, of course, a lot of different cases in Manila as well. You have a lot of public hospitals as well, but it's harder to be accepted into public hospitals in Manila if you're a foreigner.
So you're saying that it's easier to get into Providential Hospital in
It's easier to get into private hospitals actually in Manila, because if you're going to be doing your training there, they would be paying you would be paying them. So it's comparatively easier as opposed to public hospitals. They, because they have such a huge patient pool, they would usually prefer Filipino doctors. So it's all, well, they would prefer Filipino doctors everywhere, and I think that's how it should be, because it is Philippines. They should favor their own citizens.
it was easier for you to get into the Gupan Hospital.
Well, the thing was with R1, they already had established guidelines for foreign interns already, so it was easier comparatively, and then better public than private for me. That was my thinking at the time.
After all of this, after going to med school for 4 years, you need to get like your residency, your license. So, as a foreigner from Maldives, what are the steps you need to take to be able to attain all of that?
My steps are fairly unclear for now because it's hard to penetrate residency. It was hard to penetrate as an intern, and as a residency, you're going to have more responsibilities. It's a let's see and try approach. Basically, you have your Philippine license exam and you have your assessment exam. I'm not sure, foreign assessment exam or something. So either either way, it's either or. Since I'm not from an ASEAN country and I don't have reciprocal standing from my country, so I'll just have to apply for reciprocal if ever. These are things that you should, ask to the Philippine regulation board, and if they allow, based on the based on the regulations and based on the requirements, most probably I would like to try to attempt PLE. But for now, at least, I would like to moonlight, because you need to
Just live your life.
live my life, also to have to how do you say, to
Just see how things work
just
out.
see how things work out, also to work more as a clinician, because we're very protected under our residents when we work as interns and clerks, because basically we're working under their license.
Okay.
So um, I think I'd like to spend a little more time, spread out my wings, see what I enjoy a little bit more. So that's the plan for now.
So you mentioned something that there are certain exemption of students that are allowed to take PNLE as medical students. Can you share more light on that scenario?
If you're from an ASEAN country, or you are a country with a standing reciprocity to the Philippines, you can take your PLE already. So it's basically an understanding between countries. So if Philippine doctors are able to work in that country and then doctors from that country can work here, in that case, that's already a standard reciprocity. But as far as I know, for Maldives, you don't have one. So either you can apply for it and see how things goes, or you can apply for Philippine, I think foreign assessment exam or registration exam, something along the lines of that. That's going to allow you to do your residency as a training program here.
So are you saying that there are not Filipino doctors working in Maldives?
There are Philippine doctors working in Maldives, but there's no understanding of the reciprocity yet. There's no formal understanding yet. So it needs to be, there needs to be a writing, there needs to be a memorandum of sort that officially states the reciprocity for it to be, for me to like be able to submit to the PRC and be like, okay, so here it is, we have reciprocity, so may I be allowed to take PLE, something along the lines of that. So if we have that, then yes. Otherwise, you'll have to do your foreign assessment exam.
So Filipino doctors normally take license exam in your country to
Yeah.
be able to practice.
Yes, yes. As long as let's say as consultants, as attending physicians. But if you're going to be working in your resorts as a hospitalist, you can simply just take certifications for your BLS. There are certain certifications you can work as basically a moonlighting hospitalist.
But do you think, as a foreigner who studied in the Philippines, it's going to be easy to navigate all of this journey since there is no standing memorandum yet?
I think it's going to be easier for me because my, as opposed to other Maldivians who have not studied here, because if you, for an example, I wouldn't know the how the medical board works, let's say in Thailand or in the UK, as well as someone who have done their med school there, who have already dealt with them. So for me, have the I have the necessary knowledge to know, like, okay, so these are the options I have, these are the requirements I have, these are the places I need to reach out regarding this. So it's going to be relatively easier for me, but it's still going to be a process because, and I think it's going to be a process no matter where you apply, whether I apply for the UAE, whether I apply for Australia or UK or US, it's still going to be a process, but comparatively easier in the Philippines because this is where I have spent, let's say, almost half a decade of my life. So
So are you looking forward to taking the PNLE here if you are given the opportunity?
sure, if I am allowed to take it, sure, because I do believe the residency programs here are good. I believe that the training they give is good, and I believe that there's enough of an exposure, and I believe that it's a good place to do your residency. So it's, I won't totally rule it out as an option. So there's still a lot more research to be done, but Philippines is definitely an option.
Do you think you really got the impact you needed studying in the Philippines?
Philippines was good for me. Philippines was a good fit for me, and I'm grateful for my internship here. Definitely, most of your learnings comes through your clerkship, comes through your internship.
Yeah.
So, in that basis, yes, it was really worthwhile for me. Which is why I think I'm considering to do my residency here. I'm not ruling it out, but it's also, I think, a good idea to explore someplace else to see how the medical industry works in that place also. So it's a give and take. It's a pros. It's basically weighing out your pros and cons. I say this even though I know that a lot of my friends um, dropped out of med school.
Really?
Yeah, because also for the fact that um, some didn't feel like it was their calling. Some felt like the college was not providing them enough. So it's all very individualized. And I know it's not very helpful when we say that it's very individualized, which is why we say unless you really want to go into medicine, don't go into it. Because apart from the stress of studying, you also have stress from your college or your university because academia is hard. There's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of deadlines, there's a lot of change in curriculums, there's a
Have you traveled back to Maldives since you came here?
actually I did. I have yearly trips actually.
Yearly?
I'm very fortunate in that regard. I've been back home. I just have. I think every year after our graduations, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I want to go home. I want to be home.
That's good. What are the things that have changed about you since moving to the Philippines?
I think I have gotten a lot more accepting of different cultures and more broader minded. I feel like I have grown a lot more independent. I felt like I have become more decisive. I have become more independent in my decisions, and I have learned to be more accepting of others as well. Because when you are in your own country, you are surrounded by people with your own beliefs, with your own cultures. You don't and
True.
then you come abroad and you see people from all over the world, and you'll be like, oh, okay, so people live like this, people, you
Eat like this.
yes, people dress like
Like
this.
this.
And you learn about more cultures and you share your culture, and then
Hmm.
you become a little bit of, I think you embrace a little bit of the country you're studying in.
Yeah.
I think there are so many things of Filipino that are Filipino about me now. It has become my second home. You can't live someplace and not have some sort of transference of that culture. So yeah, I think that's
How
that.
about the food? Do you eat?
I'm a Muslim, so it's really hard here because they put pork in almost everything. But I love, 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 love Filipino desserts. I think I have loved the ube, anything of the ube, their breads. I think Filipinos does their breads so well,
Yeah.
and mostly a lot of desserts. And since I came to Dagupan, I'm really grateful that they have, since Dagupan is so fish based.
Yeah.
So Maldives is very fish based.
So you've been eating a lot of fish.
Yeah, just that.
I think you prefer the Gupan to Manila.
Each has its own attraction. Dagupan is like the sun sets and everybody sleeps.
Yeah.
So, well, in a financial point of view, Dagupan is cheaper to live,
Yeah, true.
but I enjoyed the suburban life here, to be honest, because 5 years of a city life, and I wanted something new, and Dagupan provided me that something new. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you for sharing your experience with me. As you guys have heard from her, she has a lot of things to say. I don't need to talk much. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button. Give the video a like, drop me a comment, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.